Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Igaga, and I want to welcome you to the best thing that could ever happen to you on a Wednesday night, and that is men. Now, tonight we are here on the show that is proudly brought to you by Obulamu, and we need to hear from you. As I always say, go to our Facebook page. It's NTV Men. Like it. Talk to the people who are there, including us. And even the people like Colin, who instead of focusing on the right things, focus on the wrong things. But that's the way it is. We also need you to follow us on Twitter. The hashtag is NTV Men. Now, tonight, we are going to be talking about the stuff that women look for in men. Now, a lot of men seem to have gotten it back to front. And we hear women saying that they are not complicated. They just want the small things. But is that the case? Now, tonight, we have a beautiful lady with us. Judith, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Peter.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you. For me, when you talk about like what do women want in men, of course everyone has idea. You as a man, you have something you like in a woman.
Yeah.
I myself, I also have. And to be sincere, yes, we have. And there are things that you men ignore that we want, and you don't put them attention. You make us complicated, yet we are right.
All right, calm down.
Did you see how authoritative the voice was?
Yes. We'll be fine. Now, we are going to save the best for last. Now, I want to start from my dear friend Faisal. How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
What do you think, in your opinion? You're a young man, energetic, into social media. What do you think women actually want from men?
That's a very difficult question because I don't know, it's so hard to understand a woman, first of all. So, understanding what she wants in a man is like, I mean, if understanding a woman is A level, understanding what she wants in a man is like a PhD or something.
Oh, please.
Because this is a woman, today she's going to like your connecting beard.
Yeah, like
tomorrow she's going to tell you, cut those things off. I don't want them. I don't want our kids looking at Chunga, you're this sharp. You see. So this is how difficult it is. You get a woman, she says,
I'm thinking about my life partner.
And what she thinks about your beard.
What she thinks about my beard.
But if I could pinpoint something, women want to be, what they look for in a man is love. Yeah, because every woman wants this guy who's going to just put her up there. You know, you're the only one, you're on your own level, you're on your own platform. It's you're the Mugabe in my life. Something like that.
So basically,
this is what
lies is what you're saying. Women want lies from men.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because something as perfect as that is impossible. I mean, the man, he also resigned. So something as good as Mugabe that they are looking for in a man is impossible. Yeah. And Chris,
and Faisal has mentioned something. He said women just want love. At one point, you say that love is a four-letter word spelled as T-I-M-E, time. So, does it mean for as long as you give a woman time, that's it?
I think that every girl out there would want, every lady out there would want to be in a relationship with the person who stops for them, thinks about them, treats them special, different from all the other girls.
So women are selfish.
You know, label it how you want, but that's one. I also think that women are interested in guys who are honest.
True.
Yeah?
Yeah,
No.
I agree.
Honesty, like
I agree.
absolutely honest.
No.
Guys who are honest and open.
No.
Every woman. No, we're talking about what they're looking for, not what you give.
Not
Because I know
you.
you run away from
Because,
it, but I'm telling. Listen, you can qualify.
No.
When
You
the
can
guy
qualify,
is
but
just an undertaker.
They look for honesty and openness. The other thing that I find is they look for family support. The whole thing of you being involved, if say like you are a dad, being involved in the affairs of the home with the kids and helping out. The other thing I think they're interested in is financial support.
Gain or support?
The whole thing of you are able to take care of the basics that run the home, not to be the richest guy in the world, but just to know my man can take care of the basics.
To show that you're really doing something. Actually, it's not that even you may not be having a lot of, because even I do actually, I'm speaking to myself. I don't need someone who is rich. Because the moment even you be rich, I'll not get affection. Very rich, I will not get affection that I want.
So
I want
women
this
dry
time
up when you
I'm
come
speaking
there.
as Judith. I'm speaking as Judith. I don't want someone who is very poor, and I don't want someone who is very rich. Because the moment you be very poor, of course, oh please.
That's a contradiction. That's a contradiction there.
No, the moment you're very poor, who is that very poor? You wake up in the morning, you're not trying anything, you're not doing anything. But a real man will wake up in the morning, plan for the family, make sure either we have kids, we go to school, there's food, there's bread on table for my family. You're showing something. This thing of going out of the house and you coming back with lousy trousers, not anything.
Okay, but then Judith, two things. I see there's a contradiction there. You don't want money, but you want money.
But
Okay.
are women looking for
You-
men, or are they just looking for ATMs?
And then number
Collins,
two,
I know what I want.
An
You
ATM
wanted me to
without
here to
zero
tell you what
balance
we want
forever.
in a man. First, on my knees every day in my prayer.
Wait,
Give me a
wait,
God-fearing man.
There's no ring.
A God-fearing man.
Yeah.
You understand? God-fearing man. Second,
Why a God-fearing man?
of course, then someone who does not honor God, who are you going to respect?
What if you sacrifice her?
So if you can't
nice.
respect God, you can't respect
You
anyone.
are not going to respect me.
Okay, yeah.
But you know, anyway, go on, finish.
Yes. Collins, I know you're going to say it, but to me, if you not honor God, you not even honor me, you not even honor anyone, you not respect me. Secondly, I want a man who is a man, not a boy.
In what matter of speaking?
Everything you're doing from day one,
Yeah.
your words should be making sense to me. You have a vision, not
Faizo, you're in
living,
trouble.
I need a whole man messed up.
not living life.
I think what you're doing, I think that you're planting it in her head.
No, I haven't said anything.
I feel like
You
no,
must have a vision, not living life and to make it worse. Oh God, help me. If this guy is this guy who rounds around to know like which bahay, which this, you will never build yourself. I like Bobby one time she was saying like every time Bob one could come back home drunk, he'll be like, and more of on dates, he'll be like, do you know that you drank 3 iron sheets? We are still renting. When will you build yourself? You are the guy who put on these jeans, glassy shoes, and then this iPhone. But in actual sense, at home, what do you have? Because you have a fridge where you put your 3 beers, 10 beers in the
She's
fridge.
talking to you.
I don't even drink.
You put 3, then you think you are. You have money instead of planning. And by the way, you men, if you're there and you have this chick who tells you let's go to here, and then there's this show coming, she's not a lady. She's not. When will you build yourself? I want a man with a vision.
Maybe I should
No.
Serving the sauce.
Yes.
Woman's not.
Now, okay, those are very, very powerful words. So now what I want to understand, are women, can we then say women are more of nurturers than men? Because women want to build. I'll give this to Colin.
No. You know what? I think we should
No, Colin.
Yeah.
Take one for the team.
I
Just take
cannot-
one for the
I
team.
mean-
Lay it down.
I am real just going to die.
Just lay it down. We are ready.
No. So, are women naturals?
Yes.
We've had many conversations about this, Chris. Especially, so certain things are happening in my life, and now, well, my family is going through some significant changes. And so recently I bumped into Chris and I said to him, hey, so this is happening. And Chris said to me, yeah, women are multipliers. They multiply what you give them. You give them a small sperm, they give you a beautiful bouncing baby. You give them a vision, you give them a seed, you give them a plan.
You give them your ATM card.
I mean, they can give you
never-
a big black financial hole, but that's different. But he was talking about how women generally just multiply the things in your life. Huh? So you give them a vision, a plan, and they will grow you. They'll grow your empire. They'll work with you. They'll work with what you give them. They are born to nurture and multiply what you put in their lives. I think, though, listening to Judith talking about God-fearing men and all these social constructs, I don't know, because I've never been a woman, so I don't know what to look for in a man. But I think about it, and it comes down to values. So the character of the man, I think, for me, is very, very important. And we keep saying, you know, women want the truth, but history has shown women don't like the truth. They want it on paper, here in conversations and in public. They say, tell me the truth, I will handle it. But
the moment you tell me.
So would you say that you can't handle an honest man? An honest and
real
open
You know
man?
why? I like being honest. It even give you the picture of who a person is. Would you like me to lie you every day?
No, but Judith,
Yes.
I think where Colin is coming from is here's a situation. And let me put it into
put
context.
some real life
yes.
examples. Since your
Yes,
life is so full of life.
Some aromat.
Now here's a situation where, for some reason, and I'm going to talk about a reality that has happened to a lot of men. There's some men who, this guy, for example, has lost his job. Okay, he's not in a position to provide. All right, he is looked at as the tower of strength. Okay, so in the morning he leaves, and you ask him, "Where are we going to get food from?" And he tells you, "Don't worry, I've got this."
That's a good lie. There is a good lie where you're protecting my family.
Exactly what we were
There is
talking
a
about.
good lie
It is still
because
a
you're
lie.
not showing that you're not man enough. You're showing that you're still a man, that you can even still provide. That is why you're lying, a good lie, to protect your family.
So
because
there are good lies
no
and there are
woman
bad
would
lies.
want to hear a lazy man.
So there are good lies, and so there are some good lies.
Yes.
You see why I told
Protect
you it's
your
hard
family.
to understand the woman?
Now,
No,
the good news is we have to go into a break, and when we get back, I would like to hear, especially from Chris, now that we have discovered that they are good lies,
They are good
and
lies.
he'll be the one to tell us. Now, we're here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel talking about the things that women want, because it's a tough one for most men. And for a lot of you men out there, I'm sure it's a tough one for you too. Don't forget, this show is brought to you by Obulam. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. In case you've just joined us, we are here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel, and we are talking about what women want. I'm sure one of the things that Faisal is worried about is, do women even really know what they want? Well, stay with us and we'll find out. Now, just before we went to the break, we found out that there are some good lies. Yes. Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're all eagerly waiting. Of course. What's he gonna do? Of course. No. I actually think that when you check what's underneath what Judith called a good lie, it's hope.
Yeah. Oh.
I think that's what she was or would be saying.
Yeah.
And here's why I say that. The role of a man in a relationship is leadership. I don't know any great leadership that doesn't have a plan and doesn't provide hope. Okay, so even when you've hit rock bottom, you provide a plan and you provide hope for the family.
Okay, minus Donald Trump, but yeah.
Right? Even Donald Trump, what he did is he was so good at making everyone look bad that in a hopeless situation, he was still the hopeful choice.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that's a very critical thing for us men to embody for women, for our spouses. Because the moment a woman can't see the future, can't see what the future looks like for her kids, for her family, she's wondering,
Where is this man taking?
exactly. And so with questions like that, then there's a feeling of insecurity. And so what Colin said earlier, I have found to be very true. I know I have, let's say, whether it's me or even different people who, the way life is you go through bumps and you hit lows sometimes, right? But when you sit down with your spouse and there is a plan, and the thing is that it might not be coming through now, but we're working on it and we're inching, every day closer and closer to the plan. What happens is that there is hope, and before long, the lease of time that hope buys you gives you the opportunity to actually get the plan into action.
Good pressure.
Yeah? So I wouldn't call it a lie.
Huh.
I think it's hope.
But you've not told the truth.
No. No. So I wouldn't go about it by telling a lie. I would say these are the facts. The whole thing about what Jim Collins talks about, facing the brutal facts but keeping the hope. The brutal facts are, I was fired. But look, I'm going to go out. This is what I'm going to do about it. And I think we'll come through it.
What if you don't have a plan yet?
So you guys.
So you say, I'm going to make it up. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to try something. And I'm sure by the end of the day, I'll have something better. And you come back and you keep reporting what's going on. And before you know it, you're out of the water.
But you guys are talking as though, once a man has a plan, that is it. Because, we've seen men with plans and ambitious men and all, but that's still left. Sometimes the woman, you just find out, oh yeah, the woman slept with a chapati guy. A chapati guy has zero
a plan.
You mean a
Actually,
chapati
man may have a plan better than you, who is
Yes.
closing
But-
the
but-
Benz.
Did you just
Let
hear
us
a woman?
let us be
I think
serious.
that-
Faizo, have you had the woman?
No. Let us be
You
serious.
may be enjoying
Let
the
us
day-to-day
be serious.
Benz.
Let us be serious.
Faizo, you may be enjoying
My plans.
Faizo, a
Me
real
was a
woman.
Benz.
A real
My
woman
plans
is talking
started
to
way
you.
Hello,
earlier.
Faizo, look at
Every
me.
woman is talking to you.
You,
Did you just say
you're
to him to look
cruising
at you?
Yes.
Okay.
You're cruising in this Benz. Hello, Benz. But in a factual sense, you don't know that there's a fatal accident even can crash that way, and you don't even have a plan for tomorrow. But this chapati guy is saving 5K every day. And at the end of the year, he would have brought a plot of land that you, who is closing a Benz of 100 million, you have not even bought a car.
No. But then I have a Benz and a garage. And now you're talking about a plot of land. I already have all those things. What I was trying to say is
Man's brain, woman's brain.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I
What do
told
you want to hear today?
It's very hard to understand this conversation, but we
No,
just have to go on.
it's very
listen,
simple, and you have to
I'll tell
understand.
you what, Faisal, where I get where Judith is coming from, which to me is an eye-opener, and I think it's an eye-opener for a lot of men out there. You see, it closely ties in with what Chris has just said. If this chapati man can give her hope, you with your what you call with your fancy Benz cannot give her that. She's not hearing what the plan is.
You people are making
She's
it.
likely
You're
not
making
that
it.
it's right.
You're making it seem like
So
you haven't been in a relationship
I
at all.
want to speak to a reality that I have found to be true, and I work in research and understanding people. This is what I've found.
Yeah.
I found that, and we were really shocked when we found this at the agency, that the corporates, that the guys who drive nice cars and drive nice Benzes, these corporate guys you see in town, they're the guys who don't have a plan. Because somehow in his mind, he'll always have his
job.
corporate ID tag, and he'll always have health insurance for his kids, and he'll always have a company car with company fuel and company airtime and company
In a company
bundles.
house.
In a company house.
Actually, to add on that,
Yes, just first, let me first finish.
All right.
So it makes those guys not as hardworking. So this is what we then found, that when you go to Gayaza on that side, or you go to Sonde on the Chireka side, deep there, that's where all your taxi drivers and all your border guys have bought land, and they've built their houses. You find a guy, he's riding a border, but his kids are going to decent schools. He lives on his own land. in his own house.
When he closes that door, he's the landlord.
He is the landlord. Now, that guy, listen. And the logic comes from adversity, how adversity shapes men and drives them. Comfort is a very big threat to success than hardship is. And I mean, I didn't say this. These are Denzel Washington's words. Ease is a greater hindrance to success than adversity. And I have to agree with her that the guy who's at that level, the way he's innovating and hustling and saving every day is very different from the guy who has the Benz.
Actually, to add on that, for a really perceptive life, like real life, when we look here, like the kids who have these backgrounds which are very nice, they have gone in a good place, they have studied in a good place, they don't know nothing like to hustle. Actually, they will end up bad. These are the they will end up like begging, but the kids, these kids who have grown up hustling, I've seen my mom hustle, and I know where I'm going. Trust me, everything you do, you building it up to end in a bright future. Like they forget. This one is driving a Benz. He doesn't mind that even tomorrow he can be sacked. And by the time he's sacked, these other people will be begging you.
I don't think we should victimize people who drive Benzes because
Peter drives a Benz.
You have a plan.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Peter has a Benz and he has a plan.
No, Chris really told us that we want hope. For sure, like, yes, you have put me in this life. Yes, I go to this salon, I do my nails, I do this. But again, what about tomorrow? And
No.
So if I may just ask directly, is money important to women? Because you know the two things that a man can't have is time and money. So if money is important and time is important, there's a mismatch.
The woman must choose one.
you must to balance. Me, Judith, I want you to balance. Have time
Judith,
for
I have a question.
Wait a minute. Have time
You
for
might
your
forget.
job when you're making money, and when you come back, please, I'm begging you, can you give me attention? Ask me how was my day? How are the kids?
Okay. I'll just again. I would like to talk about a practical.
I feel like I'm not
really,
even on the
really.
show.
Hashtag.
I feel like
I
I'm
wish
not
Stefan were here
because
because Stefan would answer.
people should just enter my brain and just see what's there.
And I would like,
What's
and I would like you guys.
Probably that's why you're not married
Yeah.
yet.
Think about it this way. I'm talking about a practical situation. I have been on my feet, okay? And let's not even talk about guys with what you call it in
Manual labor
white-collar
jobs, yes.
No, let's talk about a guy who works hard. I'm talking about a guy who works really hard for his money. He gets home, okay? He has paid the school fees. He's paid the rent. There's food in the house. Do you think, in all honesty, that's time for him to have a conversation? Or does he just need to sleep? Because he has to be up very early in the morning to do that. Is that a bad man?
Peter, the moment you think that you have brought food on the table, the kids are good, that's where you're mistaken. Homes are breaking, relationships are breaking.
And the kids' school fees is still paid.
You even forgot why, in the actual sense, why did you get married in the first place? Or why are you in that relationship in the first place? These are additional things, additional blessings.
Are we going to pretend?
Before you got these kids, it was me and you. And even these kids, whether God takes them away or we have them, it will still be me and you.
Your fault.
Are we going
Someone
to?
needs to
Are we
tell Judith
going to
about the
ignore?
reality.
Are we going to ignore the fact
No,
that?
there's nothing like reality. It's reality.
That's not the reality. So let me tell you.
What I wanted to ask you.
And the moment you don't give me that attention, you think you have done everything,
What
you will give a chance for
what I want-
chapati boy or house
What
boy
I wanted to ask
to do
you.
the
Those
job
guys
you're
of manicure
failing.
What I
and
wanted to
pedicure.
ask you
Yes,
is.
to do the
You
job
guys,
you have
you guys,
failed.
if a manicure chick is a guy is smashing your wife, bruh, that's what you marry. Like, it's not your fault.
And this is
It's
what
just
this
you
is
married
what-
that-
this is what I'm telling you.
Yes.
We have
No.
all ignored the fact
but-
that some women want sex, are looking for sex in a man.
No,
We are not even talking about it. We are just letting it go like
it's not such a
real.
women can go a long time without sex. You'll be surprised. But
no,
but let me
no,
just say
no,
something.
no,
Let me say
no.
something here. I think that we are really getting ourselves into a bit of a problem. What we're talking about today is what women are looking for in men. And the woman is saying, and we're shutting her down. I find that
Actually, you're shutting
But-
me
but-
because
but-
I'm obsessive for men. One
No,
woman alone.
women, all women
I'm
have
just-
different views.
I'm just saying.
Women have different
No,
views.
but here's the thing. I think fundamentally, there is no woman who does not want affection.
Exactly.
Who does not want, and affection would turn out, there's a whole thing of the 5 love languages, either quality time or gifts or,
Acts of
words of
service.
affection, acts of service and another thing.
Song of this, that.
No, it's just the 5 love languages things. But the point is that they need you to stop for them. And when you don't do that, you are going against a fundamental need they have. It's just like how if a man is in a marriage and he's denied sex, the lady is going against a fundamental need a man has. So as a guy, you just think about it this way. This is the equation. I need sex as a man in a marriage. That's a fundamental need, the way men are wired. In a woman, that great need for men, for sex, is the equivalent attention, affection for a woman. It's a fundamental need. So when you deny a woman that, just think about you being denied sex.
But isn't sex also a fundamental need for women?
Yes,
Well, she
it
didn't
is.
talk about it. But
Yes, it is. Look here. It's a way to things. Like, let's be sincere. Would you want someone who just demands, it's like me being in a relationship and all I do, I only come for you for. I want to do my hair. I want to do nails. I want to do this. I want airtime, but I never call even to say thank you. Would you appreciate that?
No.
You will not appreciate that. It's when, like, yeah, I thank you. You work so hard, Peter. I thank you so much, and I'm grateful I have a husband like you, I have a boyfriend like you. You work so much to meet my needs to do this. But also, I need time, me and you, talk. Feel, how do I feel, like,
Conversation.
are you okay? Are you okay? How was the day? I myself, even I want to get quiet to ask you, like, you're quiet today, you came, your mood, are you okay? What
When
happened
a man
at
is
work?
quiet, he
That's
needs to be left
time.
alone. But we'll talk about that. We're here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel talking about what women want. It's still a mystery for a lot of the men. Clearly, according to Chris, we should look at it as not what we think they want, but we should look at more. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. In case you've just joined us, we are here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel, and this show is proudly brought to you by Obulamu. As you know, this is the one show that is not afraid to talk about anything. And today we are talking about what women want. Do they really know what they want?
they don't.
Yes, we do.
but we
By the
don't.
way, so let me tell you something.
don't.
When we women, and you have to learn so much with very much like our body language, when a woman even say no, you as a man, you have to even to go more reasoning and to listen more than she really mean no. Sometimes we say no when it's not no. We want you.
Exactly. You see what I told you?
This
See what I
is
told
learning
you?
body language. You have to understand your woman where there is communication. Because the moment you don't give her attention and communicate, you'll never understand her.
So sometimes she says no when she means yes.
When she means it.
Okay.
Do you know
Like
what
When
she
she
wants?
means pursue me.
Pursue
dig
me.
it
Okay,
a
so,
little
so, so,
deeper.
so
It's
me,
like-
I want-
it's like-
I want-
it's
I
like
want-
when she
I
say-
want to put it out there and say, right now with the things that are happening in the world, and I think that you might be right because there's some social or cultural context that allows this.
Exactly.
This whole
Like that she has gone
where
through.
a woman says no and you continue
And
to
you're like,
press
no,
and
you
say,
press,
but you
press,
don't-
press.
and you're pursuing you're obsessive. Yeah? But there are things that are happening in the world
You know, the sexual
that
harassment.
or so many allegations and so many men are getting into trouble that my advice would be that if a woman says no,
Leave it. Run away. Resign.
okay,
Be like Mugabe.
leave it.
Leave power.
Go. Here's why. Because if men are being held to the standard where they must mean exactly what they say. Then women should also be held to a standard.
Thank you.
Where they also say what they mean and mean. So when a woman says, you know what, no, this is not happening. Don't press, don't what.
Okay.
Have the pride to say, you know what, I'm taking
Colin,
the
do you
loss
remember
here.
when? Do you remember when Judith said earlier that she does not want to deal with a man who is thinking like a boy?
I want a man.
She wants a man who is thinking like a man. And
Let me tell
no,
you.
for real.
I don't know why everyone is laughing. I don't know if this is a joke at me.
No,
makes you
it's
a
not
boy.
Colin. It's not Colin, of course. I'm just saying. I'm not saying Colin is a boy.
Sweet.
No, I'm just saying. It's a thing of, you know, the reality is that in relationships, not everything means what it means on the surface of it. In the complexities, just like us guys.
It's like that sentence you've just made.
Yeah.
Which means nothing, but apparently
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
okay. I know I've rubbed you the wrong way, Colin. I apologize. But just think about it this way. It's like how when we show up and maybe you're either hiding behind the newspapers or behind your, a program you're saying you're watching, you want to concentrate, but what you need is to be left alone because you're still dealing with something internal. And that's really the communication that you're putting forward, but you're not really verbalizing it. And it's important for your spouse to read the mood and step away and give you some space, right? I think that there's things where we need to be able to read into spaces and what's going on. So yes, someone could say, you say, hi, how are you? Fine. Are you okay? I'm fine. I mean, that we know. If you've been in a relationship, if you get two sharp, quick finds, that's not fine at all. There's trouble, right? We know that, right? So yes, I understand that, and the body language and things like that. But I really think that when okay, so two things. To some extent, I want to agree with Faisal in saying that you can't necessarily totally understand or even know even your spouse like you've got it and there's no surprise, because there is always going to be a surprise. I think God did it that way so that we are always puzzled and trying to pursue, and like, now, okay, this is a new thing, what's this? So you pursue it a little more. I think that's part of the game. But I think to a great extent, if we focus, especially if you're not chasing too many and you have one, it's possible to get to a 75% of understanding your spouse, what they want, what their preferences are, and that kind of thing. The challenge, I think, is in when you're chasing too many, and you have 10% on this one, 5% on that one, 0% on the other one, it gets confusing.
He has said it right. The moment you communicate, you give each other time.
Right.
Of course. You will always understand me, or you always understand you. But the moment you hide yourself, you wear masks, you don't open up, there's no communication.
How did we even get to
always-
wearing masks?
No,
You
no,
people?
yes, no,
Like,
but
what is this, Halloween?
I'll tell
This
you what,
show?
it's part of it.
Peter,
Now, just
we have just been explaining how hard it is to understand a woman. Like
this is it. Huh?
Like this entire show should have just been phrased how hard it is to understand a woman, because this is what we've been doing. He's going to say something different, he's going to say something different, she says something different, and everyone is just in a state of quagmire. In your opinion, what really drives a woman to want a man?
Well, there are many things that may drive a woman to want a man, but most probably women of these days, they want money. At a less point, love.
But you know what the saying goes, no romance with no finance. But elaborate more. What do you mean they want money? I mean, you just give them money and then they fall in your arms. Explain, elaborate further.
No, these days, broke guys don't date. When you date a girl with you and you are broke, and another guy is loaded, then the guy easily takes the girl away from you, because the guy will be able to take her to any places of comfort. Seriously, the attributes at times are too much of attraction. You know, a lady can reach a point of coming and telling you that I'm really in love with you. However much you don't say it, you haven't said it to her, or you don't feel you are in love with her. So attributes matter a lot at times. So for you short people, I'm really sorry for you.
I know. It's like, where did we get that? I mean, you've
because-
not been
What
listening
have
to
we
her
done?
the whole time.
Hold on. We're going to get to you in a bit. What I would like to hear from Judith, 5 things as a lady that you want from a man.
What?
Just
5 things.
You want all of 5 things?
But
What
I
will-
feel like
mean,
5
what-
are even
How
little.
can you want all those
Because-
things from one person? Why can't you
You're
want
not
half?
called Judith.
Judith.
Rex.
Judy, feel
Okay.
free to go to even 50. Because me, I
No,
know
just
women,
5, because I'm
they
sure
might
there are
have
lots.
to be 50.
Wow. Thank
The-
you, Peter.
the eyebrows-
Hold on. You have asked me. I already told you the first one is a God-fearing man. Second, I want a man with a vision. Third, I would want a man who'd love me for who I am. Over the past is ugly as what? Over the what, you just accept me the way I am. Third,
So you have an
fourth,
ugly past.
I want a hardworking man who would be like, let's do this, let's do this. Third,
50.
a fifth one, which is
No, she's still on third.
no, it's
don't
a
worry.
fifth one. A fifth
So
one,
Yeah.
I want a man who would even also love my family, open up to me. Then that's all. When the moment you do that, we are fine to go. We are going to build there.
Okay, so question. So to you, sex is not important?
When I say love, to love me, of course, I have to do. Who am I to you? It's an immediate thing. It's a thing. Love, I love you back.
Okay.
But Peter, do you realize that every single time you've had to qualify the question of sex when you're asking her, and she's not bringing it up as her priority, and yet if you are asking guys what they look for in a relationship, dude, that's number 1 on the table. like sex, fast.
You know
Of
what?
course.
One of these days we're
We
going to
have to
force
be
you to
frank.
declare which team you play for, because sometimes
I mean,
Nobody's the truth.
you don't really come out like you're playing for.
No.
No, I play for
It's
guys.
okay.
No,
It's
no,
okay.
I've just said what
He
we
has
play
children.
for. I mean,
He
card
has
number 1.
children, so we are.
Wait.
Chris, we don't
So-
doubt you.
Your 5 things that you believe a woman needs from a guy's point of view.
From my perspective, affection, honesty and openness, family support.
But we've agreed there's some sugar-coated.
No, that's what you think. I'm telling you this is my opinion and this is what I found to be true.
Yeah.
Honesty and openness, family support,
Yeah.
financial support, like just taking care of the basics, and a vision, a plan.
No wonder why somebody says he's got a vision for the country. And the way
Oh
we
yeah,
like
that's why we're still with him. all these years.
Faisal, your 5 things.
Number 1, affection and time. Number 2, affection and time. Number 3,
Don't say affection that time.
affection and time. And I'm going to tell you why. Number 4, 5, affection and time. Like, this is the number 1. If a woman is not just looking to gold dig you, this is the number 1 thing a woman is going to be looking for: affection and time. Because trust me, you will be everything. You will have a plan, you'll have a job, you'll have all those other things. But as long as you don't give a woman affection and time, and this Rolex guy is there, she comes to buy probably an egg, the guy is chatting her up, touching her, some nice hair,
Appreciating.
Judith, the eyebrows or something. So just those small things, that's enough to make her go astray. Because trust me, you will have the best plan in the world, but if you're not giving her time and affection, nothing is going to, it's all just going to go astray. She won't even notice you have a plan, or why you have a Benz, or why you don't. I don't care. But those are the 5 things: time and affection times 5.
Okay, great stuff. Colin,
Yo, man.
it's been hot. That's why you're in red.
I know.
Told you
Like,
about that.
I'm so happy that I wore this shirt. so no one could see
Tumukwachako.
how my brother here stabbed us. They could not see my blood.
Man's not
Your
my
man-
apology.
Man's not betrayed. No, I mean, man, these shows are always difficult because you have to put yourself in a. This is what I think. I think it comes down to one. Men need to inspire their women. And however you do that, some people are prayerful and call it God-fearing. I find that inspiring the women in your life is about committing to something. So, find something that you're good at, commit to it. Because when women see your passion or your commitment to something, they know that it is possible within you somewhere. It's possible that there can exist the sense of commitment to what you're building with them, to your kids, to your relationship. You must be able to show them. And sometimes, because relationships are not all perfect, but women stay with men because she knows that for the 10 years she's been with him, he's been doing his business. He's been building his small business and it's now grown. She knows that he will not give up. She knows that he works hard. She knows that he wakes up in the morning early and he comes back late because he's on that thing. That is inspiration and that keeps them. They know that passion and that commitment, they can channel it. You can channel it. It's important. And it's also good for the kids. Two, I think that it's important to give women time. I think it's unhealthy to give women the kind of time that Faisal is talking about, because that kind of feeds obsessive behavior. Again, we must learn to sort of respect these people. When someone says to you, no, you say, I mean, how much affection and time are you going to, are you literally going to never work because you're, and you hear this in the places where we work, these guys who call their girlfriends like, hey, so where are you? Oh, first take a selfie and I see if you're with the guys. Oh, are you with your girlfriends? Yeah, who and who? Okay, where are you guys going? All right, do you want me to come and pick you? Just that kind of obsessive behavior, as if you're dating a child who you must.
Okay,
So you don't check up on your woman.
Wait. No one interrupts the parting shot, so you just wait.
Okay, it's okay.
No, I'm just. I mean, if Faisal did it, I'll tell him the same thing.
Okay, you did. You didn't tell me.
So that's two. So I think it's important to give people time. I think it's important to be moderate about how you do it. I absolutely think that it's important to provide. And for me, it's a sticking point for me, And we're in a society where a lot of guys are just getting by without doing that bare minimum. You live in a house, you don't know how much the milk costs you. You've never even bought tissue. Every time the tissue runs out, you're out there shouting, I provide. What do you provide? You're just a guy there, just Ouampale. You've never done anything in the house. I think, and the providing is not so much about the money. It's an attention to detail. It's saying, I am in this house. I know that the sink in the other bathroom is a built faulty, so I need to fix it on the weekend. It's that presence, and it allows you to be in the life of the family. Otherwise, you're just this guy who comes late, leaves early, and leaves money. There's no way you're ever going to be the father. You can't be the leader. So the providing in the house is important because of that reason, because it allows you to be present in the household. And finally, I think that you must provide affection. Affection is important because affection shows that you connect with your partner, with your spouse. It shows the people in your house, so your children, that's an important ingredient of the relationship, and that it's possible. So it's not a mechanical relationship. I know there's a very big stereotype around Baganda women and how they exploit men and just use them to build their backdoor empires, and the guy just works his whole life while she just built an entire business behind his back. I think that to break stereotypes like that, you must be openly able to show affection to your spouse, because it also tells your children that this is an important ingredient of the family setup.
Okay. They're small things, and they're things that we all know, at the end of the day. Just paying attention to detail. I think one of the challenges we have as men is we don't pay attention to detail. And you've mentioned it, whether it's attention to detail on your woman, is she looking good, has she done her hair? I think sometimes those lies are good. She may have done her hair, you don't necessarily appreciate it, but you can recognize the effort, okay? I mean, because even if she looks like my elbow, you can't be like,
You see?
You look horrible.
Peter, you see what I told you? Affection. Now that's what they call affection. Time and affection.
Yes, but
Time
then there's
So you guys, if you end up with a woman who looks like your elbow, that's on you.
no, I mean, she's done her hair. I mean, yeah. And what you can also do is now go out of your way, look for more
That
money,
is
and
on
tell her
you.
to try something else. And I mean, there's an easy way of putting it. So I think communication is very key, the how you get it, and also how you get information out of her. We talked about not being able, not when she says no, you don't know whether it's yes or no. But you need to know your woman. It's important. Otherwise, you've got no business being together. If you don't know each other, then there's a problem. But I also know women like money.
Yeah, of
That's it.
course.
But the
Little
one-
pampering, spoiling. Yeah, it's
Yes.
okay.
Time and money. Affection. Now, Chris, give me your hand because I need 3 hands now. Give me your hand. I need a third hand for the money.
Talking about what women want. Have we exhausted it fully? I highly doubt, because as Faisal said, the list is very long. But we've at least tried to shorten it. Have yourselves a good night. Take care of yourselves. And don't forget, this show is brought to you by Obulamu. Have a good night.